Hello and welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. Today I'm going to be showing you a fun background technique, and I'll also be using some of the new products from the Cat Scrappiness File collection. So there are a lot of new products in the shop right now for fall, and this is the 6x6 paper pad, Falling Leaves, and it has lots of fun fall colors in it. Cat Scrappiness also has a new fall wreath die, and this one's a lot of fun. It has lots of little leaves and things. There's a lot you could do with this one. She also has the layered autumn leaves, and I love a leaf stamp. I don't know what it is, but I can't get enough of leaf stamps, and I love that one. She also has the leaf dies to cut out all the parts from that stamp set. There's a new jack-o'-lantern faces stencil, and we'll be using this one today. There's also a spiderweb stencil, and we'll be using this one as well. And there's a hats and bats stencil that we'll also be using today. There also is the new layered pumpkin spice stencil, the layered candy corn stencil, and the layered falling leaf stencil. So there's a lot of new products in the shop right now. So for this project, I just have a little piece of parchment paper, and then I've cut out 4 card fronts, just cutting down 1 piece of white cardstock. I'll also be using some water and a paintbrush. So you can see I've already gotten started on this, and I realized when I went to edit the video that it was way too long to show you all of the cards and backgrounds that I was creating. So I'm just going to show you 2 backgrounds today and 2 cards, and hopefully later on I can show you the other backgrounds and cards that I was creating. So I'm going to start out with my parchment paper, and I've already got some yellow on here from the other background. That is fine. I want that to blend in with this as well. And so I'm just adding 2 different color of the oranges. I'm using a bright orange and then more of a darker, deeper orange. And so I'm just mixing some water in right now. I'm not mixing the paint colors together. I'm just mixing the water. And then I'm going to take my card front and just tap it around my paper just to pick up some of the color. You can see there I picked up some of the yellow. I picked up some of the bright orange, and then I picked up some of the darker orange. And so I'm not putting the whole piece of paper down because I don't want to get a solid color. I really want to get this mixed up look on my card front or my background. So I love the looks that this gives. So I'm just going around on my parchment paper and just picking up color randomly around, some of the yellow, some of the light orange, and some of the dark orange until I fill the whole background. And it's okay that the back gets messy because we're going to glue this down anyway, and your hand's going to get rather messy too. So I'm just going to take my finger and fill in some of the white space with some of the extra paint that's on my card, and then I'm just going to leave that glob up there because I think when it dries it's going to look really good. So I'm going to set that aside to dry, and now I've taken a baby wipe, I've cleaned my hands, and I've also cleaned off the parchment paper, and now I'm going to create a green background. So I didn't want any of the orange and yellow in this background, so I'm just going to create the green background using a light green, a medium green, and then a darker green. Now, I did not go and buy these specific colors. I'm just using what's in my stash, and I just go and try to find 3 different tones of green in my stash. So once again, I'm going to just spray some water on these, and then I'm going to use my paintbrush to mix the paint up really good, because you want to mix the paint in the water so you don't have globs of paint. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you try this, you'll see. And I should have mixed my lighter green before my darker green, but that's okay. We're mixing all this up anyway. So now I'm just going to create a green background. And I know if green is not your favorite color, I know a lot of people don't like green, this is not going to look that pretty to you, but I love how it turned out. So this is one of those projects you need to wait to the very end to see how it turns out, because there's so many different layers we're going to be putting on it that at first it may not look great, but I think in the end the final product I really enjoyed and thought it looked great. So once again, I'm just filling in the background, and I'm randomly tapping around my paint so that I'm sure to just get a varied color throughout the background. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. So now that my backgrounds are totally dry, and you want to wait till they're totally dry before you move on to the next step, I'm just going to add to the orange background, I'm going to add some brown splashes, and I will also add in some orange splashes. So with this one, the background splashes is just like any other splashes. You just take your paint add a little bit of water and just get it watered down so that you can make splashes onto your card. So then I'm going to add just a few white splashes in as well. And then I'm going to lay that aside to dry, and we'll work on the green background now. So for the green background, I'm just going to come in with some black splashes, and I'll also come in with some brown splashes. Now I did clean my brush in between splashes, but I just cut that out to speed up the video because this is the cat scrappiness file hop video, and so other creative team members will be sharing some inspiration using these products as well. So I'm trying to keep the video just a little shorter so that you can have time to check out all the videos. And since this is a hop, there's also a giveaway, and there's a $25 giveaway to the Cat Scrappiness shop. The winner will be announced on the Cat Scrappiness channel. To enter the giveaway, you must enter by September 14th. You have to sign up for the Cat Scrappiness newsletter and then fill out the raffle form. I have all the links below and all the description below on how to sign up for the gift certificate. Also, this is a hop, so listed below will be all the other creative crew members and the links to their videos so that you can get some inspiration from them as well. There's a lot of inspiration this month using all the different products from the fall collection. So now I've just gone in, and I started out with gray ink and realized I wanted a little darker, so I came in with some black ink and just used my stencil and stenciled the bats and hats on. And then I went back around the edge of the background and just added black around the edge of the card. And so now with the orange one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm coming in with some black ink and I'm just stenciling the faces onto my orange background. And these stencils are really easy, and I love the reveal of each one. So now I'm just going to trim down my background piece to match the size I need for my card, and then I'm going to come in and just add ink around the edges. It's just black ink around the edges of the background. I think that just sort of frames out the whole background piece. So I have these stitch circles from Cat Scrappiness as well as this Spiderweb Stencil. So I've cut out one of the smaller, next to the smaller circles, and I'm just going to use black ink to add this spider web to the circle. Now I did off-center the center of the spider web because I didn't want it in the complete center of the circle. I thought it looked better over to the side. So I'm bringing in another one of the circles. It's a larger one, and I'm doing the same thing, but once again, I'm not going to put the spider web center in the center of the circle. I like it to the side. And these were really easy to put together, but I loved how they looked. Also, I'm going to be using the Happy Day stamp, and I'm going to use Happy Halloween. And I'm just using some basic white cardstock, and I'm stamping Happy Halloween onto the cardstock. And then I cut it into a banner shape, and then I'm just using some black ink to ink around the banner. And so I've also gone ahead, and one of our little Quokkas, I have colored her up, and then I have used the Happy Halloween dress up, or the Halloween dress up, the little witch's outfit, and I've dressed her up, and so I have her ready to go on the card as well. So for the circle, I'm just going to attach it over towards the side and then trim off the excess. So I'm not going to have a complete circle on my card. And I'm attaching all of this to a black background piece, and it's just black cardstock. And then I'm using one of my new favorite tools from Cat Scrappiness to press down the card front, and it really helps to just press it down and get everything glued down. And I will link below to all of the products that I am using. So I'm just adding the little banner, Happy Halloween, and then I popped up the little Quokka using some foam tape. I also added the background piece to a white card base, and then I'm coming on into the inside and just stenciling a little spider web in the corner. So now I'm going to use the little bat from the Halloween dress up, the Quokkas Halloween dress up stamp set, and I've just stamped him onto some gray cardstock, and then I'm using some black to ink around the edges and sort of just add a shadow on him. And this is a really good way to create these little bats in the stamp set without having to color. You just add a little bit of the black ink, and I love the shading. I think it turns out really cute. So then I'm just taking my circles, the smaller circle, and I'm cutting it into little segments, and I'm adding it to my card in various places. And I like to do things in threes, so I've done 3 little spider webs on my card, and then I've added my sentiment across the card, and then I'm going to come in and just use some foam tape and pop the little bat up. And I love how this little bat looks on this card. So now I'm using a gray card base, and I've just taken some black ink and inked around the card base, and then I'm just adding this to the front of the card base. And these were fun cards to create. Like I said at the beginning, I created a lot of other backgrounds, so hopefully I'll get those shown you. I may just show those on Instagram later on this month. And so on the inside, once again, I added Spiderweb stencils to this one. I'll also be back later next week showing you some projects that I created using more products from this fall collection. Well, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hop along to all the other videos.